Hello, my name is Sin, and in this last video today I am going to show you how to make this sticker, I love coffee, and how to work with multiple words, a phrase, and a piece of clip art. So as you can see, the sticker is already done here, but I'm going to show you from scratch how to make this sticker. This particular image is going to involve tracing and offsetting words. So when we first start, we start off with a piece of clip art and a couple of word phrases. So I'm going to show you how I made those word phrases. So to make a word, you simply click the text icon. In this case, type in I love, and I used a particular font that I had downloaded. So I can right mouse click and say edit text, highlight the text, turn it to whatever color I like, give it either a white, a black, or a pink line, and then to edit the font, I open the text style panel and I select the font that I wanted. I had preloaded these fonts, so that is a separate tutorial. And I did exactly the same thing for the coffee phrase. Alright, so now that you have the letters that you want and the piece of clip art, you can do just a quick arrangement of how you would like to see your sticker. Then you would group them together by highlighting all of the pieces, right mouse click, and say group. Now you have the basis for your sticker. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to trace this entire piece of art by clicking the little toast, the trace window. Select trace area. Your mouse will turn into crosshair. And you're going to up your threshold to maximum, which will darken the center image. Click outline, trace, and that will give me my starting point, my base letters to work from. Now what I do is I use the offset tool to give me the perimeter of my cut line. As you probably realize, this is a sticker and I don't want to cut out every word. I want a full perimeter cut. So to do that, I select my tracing and I right mouse click and say offset. You can also get the offset from the offset box at the right. It's a little star, or the panel menu at the top of your screen also has offset. As soon as you select offset, you must choose the distance. If you don't do this right away, the distance feature will disappear. It's a little nuance of silhouette. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the offset pretty tight. And again, you can see that's still not going to be good enough for a cut line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get even tighter or do another offset. Right mouse click offset. And depending on the phrase I'm trying to make, I usually have to do this offset a couple of times to get exactly what I want. Alright, so that's starting to look pretty good. What I'm looking for is a cohesive outer image, and I do have a cohesive outer cut, so I'm going to stop here, and I can see that my piece of art fits right perfectly inside the cut line, and the cut lines are pretty tight into my artwork. And if you do the offset tool a couple of times, you can get your cut line even tighter. Alright, so the next thing to do is to clean up these little cut lines inside. You don't necessarily want the cameo to cut on the out and on the in. Maybe you want it to just cut one of the inner lines. So to clean up your lines, you highlight the whole offset, right mouse click, select, release compound path. And then what that does is it turns each of these cut lines into individual pieces, and you can highlight them and select delete. So click, delete, click, delete. Notice you can move them around too, so if you wanted to change where your cut lines were, you could. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. That gives me a nice clean cut line around the perimeter, and I'll go with a cut line in the middle. And if you wanted to edit just a little bit and get just a little bit of a tighter end cut, you can make your image a little bit bigger, and then it will sit a little closer to your cut lines. But you have to be really careful here and not skew it too much. So I made it just a little bit bigger, and now it sits nicely inside my cut pattern. Now you must group the whole thing, but before I group, I want to do just a check to see where my cut lines are. So I'm going to go to the Send feature. This is where you disposition your cut lines. I want to make sure that my cut line is only in the perimeter. Sometimes you might see that the art itself also has a cut, like it does here. Notice I had to pull that out to see it, so I'm going to select my artwork, select No Cut, and that will ensure that only cut will be the perimeter. Notice also I don't even have a cut line in the center, so if I want a cut line in the center, I have to add that little piece in there and say cut. And now I have a cut in the exactly where I want it. Now I can go back to design. I move my artwork back into the cutting center. I center it as best I can. It's not going to be perfectly centered, so if you want it perfectly centered, do not adjust your artwork at all. It doesn't bother me that some of the artwork is closer to a cut line, because when you cut out white or clear sticker paper, it's not really going to show. Now you group the whole thing, highlight, and then say group, and now you have your sticker, and you can resize it. Let's say you're putting it in a happy planner. You probably want to resize it maybe to about, well, 1.5 width, and then you can make as many of these as you like. Control C, Control V. Make sure you're putting them below the hash marks. I could probably fit a row of 4 if I wanted to. It'd be a little tight. Oh, maybe I make a smaller one in there for a smaller planner. And then you can highlight them all. You can group them, or you can just do Control C, Control V. Move and fill up your whole page if you wish. All right, to cut, you go to the Send feature, and this is where you're going to just double check your cut lines. They look good. And notice my settings, 1, 4, 14, 1. That is my Kiss Cut setting. I use that same Kiss Cut whether it's on matte sticker paper, clear glossy photo paper, or plain glossy photo paper. The Kiss Cut at that setting, at that speed so low, works perfectly well for all 3 and means I don't have to constantly change all of my Kiss Cut settings. Alright, thank you. That concludes today's videos. Check back on another day and we'll have more videos for you. Thank you.